Guys, this is probably the most riveting post from me you'll have come across in the last 2 weeks at least. So buckle up, put on your seatbelts. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Just a couple of days ago, now, shockingly, two US warplanes worth collectively over $100 million were shot down or crashed, depending on the narrative you choose to consume from, somehow crashed over the skies of Iran and over the skies of the Persian Gulf, the waters that are south of Iran. This is where the Strait of Hormuz is. Two American pilots ejected from those planes, the F 15 reportedly. Now, one of the pilots managed to get out to safety quite easily, we are told. The other was lost in Iran. The hunt was on to find him. We now have confirmed reports, confirmed because they are from both sides talking about the same thing. After I've done my research, my reading, I can confirm. Reports say that the American flyboy who was lost in Iran was alive and was hiding somewhere out in the vast Iranian nation, somewhere in the south. America scrambled to find him and to extract him. You can't let one of our boys fall into the hands of the Iranian regime. God knows what they're going to do to him. What if they put a turban on his head and say, repeat after me, Ashhadu? What are we going to do then? Now, anyway, jokes aside, reportedly over a dozen, that's 12 by the way, over a dozen aircraft were deployed by America in the search and rescue efforts. A very high value asset, a American pilot, was lost in Iran and still alive. So they made the maximum effort, you could say. They threw the kitchen sink, and it was made more urgent, their rescue operation, because Iran as a state had a message for the people of the nation. Honor and glory, they said, and a fat bounty, a cash reward. $70,000, I think, was being offered, but don't quote me on that. For the person or the family who brings us, the Iranian administration, the American pilot, back to us, bring him alive. Oh no. Guys, it's Sunday, the 5th of April, and America has now announced, quote, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Different context, obviously, from the original time that sort of soundbite was used, but similarly, that's what Trump said. Trump said, we got him. They got him back. They got him back, America claims. They rescued him in what is being called the most daring extraction in US history, bruv. Ready up the Hollywood engines, bruv. This one's a film for sure, for sure. Of course, Trump would tweet something as obnoxious as saying it's the most amazing operation. We've never had a rescue operation like this, and only under my administration could we rescue a fallen fighter, a crashed fighter jet's pilot in this way. Now, some Western media are calling it a miracle. Mashallah. The spirit, no doubt. You know, it's a flipping Easter miracle, bruv. The spirit, no doubt, of the American people are, especially the people that have service men in the conflict, the spirits will be high in the clouds. God Almighty, it's an Easter miracle. We saved them. Iran, though, had other news. They begged to differ, and they brought receipts for their claims. Oh no. Iranian news outlets, you see, released footage. Just all of this is happening in just the last few hours. So if you're watching this video at any point in the future, this is like a snippet, a sort of a slice of life going on in the madness going on April 2026. Anyway, Iranian news outlets from the south of Iran have shown, sorry, Iranian news outlets have shown footage from the south of Iran of the burnt out remains, the charred propellers, the rotor blades, those long spindly thingies that helicopters have, the spinning things. You know the spinny things, right? I don't have the animation or the time budget to put in a picture. Imagine what a helicopter is. Google it, fam. Wreckage that looks like helicopters, potentially some other aircraft. It's hard to tell. They're all charred. It looks like wet cardboard that's, dried in the desert. It's not looking pretty. Now, just over the last couple of hours, that footage, initially reported by Iranian state media, has now been geolocated and verified by other non-Iranian outlets. Sky News in the West, Al Jazeera in Doha, Qatar, known very much for their responsible and reputable journalism. Guys, the cat is out of the bag. Iran has claimed they took out 4 more aircraft as the rescue operation was being conducted. And shockingly, American sources are not denying this openly, not yet. Maybe they're scrambling behind the scenes. How the flip do we how spin this as a victory? We went in and we lost 4 more? Potentially, allegedly. I'm not saying they have. I'm not saying it's a fact, but that's the narrative on one side, and the other side's awfully quiet. The Americans started the rescue operation in the dark of night to reduce the chances that vulnerable aircraft could be taken down, like helicopters, like cargo planes. These aren't F-35s. An F-35 doesn't land and rescue people, right? It's a sniper. Whereas America had to send in helicopters to try and do this sort of grounding and find their pilot. And yet, in the dark of night, it was supposed to start and end. That's the American facts. And yet, by America's own admission, the operation lasted until daylight. And America said, yes, there was a firefight. A firefight is a combat. You're fighting people. There's 2 sides. So you're fighting over this pilot now, bruv. Okay, fine. You're right. It is a film. You have to make a film. But who's going to make the film? Is it going to be Lego or is it going to be Hollywood? Like, what's... Now, the Iranians on the ground had arrived at the scene, and the Americans had arrived from the skies. Now, a firefight in the middle of a war between a great power and a regional power who has cut out the internet access across their country in a conflict, the fog of war is the fog is fogging. It's gonna be a should have gone to Specsavers moment. You're not gonna be able to see what the hell is going on, and that's normal, right? That's expected. But this news, what I've just covered, is likely to shock and is likely to leave quite a few people with a sinking feeling in the pit of their stomach, especially the American citizens who have been taught that they are untouchable, their military is untouchable, don't touch our boats, even though the boats are, right next to your coast, for example. We are unbeatable, and we are always, without fail, the good guys, and the good guys, of course, always win. That's what Hollywood taught me. Well, amongst all this confusion, I've given you the facts, right? I've given you the facts, and then I've given you the contested information. The facts: the pilot, America says, was pulled out. Iran says in the firefight happened between the 2 sides. That's a fact because both sides are claiming it. Now, America says we left without casualties. Iran says, here's a photo that you can geolocate and you can timestamp. There's casualties. There's 4 aircraft we've taken down. That's us saying it. That's the claim. America's not said anything about that claim. But hang on. You're going to have to put away your Hollywood film box sets, guys, ladies and gentlemen, because for better or worse, there's a growing likelihood that not only has this rescue attempt partially failed, but there's actually one last bit of information that I want to share from Western sources that really put the nail in the coffin. As far as it was a mission without any losses on the American side, it really puts a nail in the coffin. The Iranian sources say 2 Black Hawks, those are helicopters, and 2 C-130 cargo planes have been shot down. If true, the situation is basically like trying to save your finger from being crushed in a machine. You end up losing your whole hand. So it's not really it's far from a win, obviously. Now, analytically speaking, the war support that Trump had was already low. Is going to fall through the floor now if any of the 4 American aircraft casualties situation is verified. If word gets out that Iran's statements are even half true, let's say 2 aircraft were taken out, shot out of the skies in this rescue attempt, that could be the final straw. The war support might go so far down that Trump is forced, essentially, and his administration's forced to pull out, which, many would say it would be a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if all of what I have yammered about for the last however long this video is now was not enough, hold my cup of tea. There you go. Because I'm about to share the last piece of information, which is insane. Sky News, as of the last 2 hours, 2 hours ago from the recording of this, within the last 2 hours, Sky News have said the US is now claiming the US, had to destroy 2 of their own aircraft during the extraction. It's finished me. What? So Iranian sources said 4 aircraft, and maybe at least they were actually half true. 2 aircraft were taken down. The American public, the stats show, trust media sources less and less and less, unless the media sources pattern up then those big outlets are going to be a thing of the past. And then average Abdullahs like myself, the standard Suleimans like myself, who report without the nonsense and the spin, they might rise to prominence. Because Trump said the operation went well without losses. What are these 4 aircraft being talked about then? Why has Trump not talked about them? Where are the public going to get the information? The public are going to turn to social media. They're going to come across videos like mine where I'm going to cite the sources, the Sky News, the CNN, the Fox News, the Al Jazeera, the RT, the Tasneem News Agency, the Fars, the Press TV. I'm going to read it all, and I'm going to compact it into a video. I'm going to deliver it to you, and then some schmucks in the comments are going to be like, brother, it needs to be only 3 minutes long. Bruv, I spent 2 hours reading, and I made a video that's only 15 minutes long, and I sprinkled jokes in because that's just how I keep saying. And you want it to be 3 minutes, brother. Coco Melon, brother. Coco Melon. Tafaddal. Go quick. 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 You might miss the latest episode of whatever they're doing. Wheels on the bus go round and round. Anyway, jokes aside. American framing, bruv. The wheels are coming off this at this point, to be honest. I'm not being biased. I'm just saying American framing, American reporting seems to be going further and further from the reality on the ground and is becoming harder and harder to validate. 4 aircraft potentially lost. What do you call that? A rapid unscheduled aircraft write-off? How are you gonna sell it? Like, how are you gonna report it? The war, of course not a war, it's a major combat operation. Warplanes shot out of the sky by your enemy, they've not been shot, it was a malfunction. It crashed, bruv, it crashed. There was a laundry room fire, right? There was a toilet that backed up, so we had to sail away. For weeks, we have to go sail away and we have to repair. American framing, Iranian framing, spin's going to spin on both sides. But the reality which most people want is what I'll try to keep delivering. This is my effort. This is my sacrifice. This is my striving. This is my family's sacrifice, who don't always have me on the weekends, don't always have me on the evenings. I have a little one with big googly eyes who, I want to spend time with him, but a lot of the time I decide, no, I'm going to commit an hour and a half to research and then writing and then recording and then posting. Because the truth is worth some sacrifice. No sacrifice, no victory. And most people, I think, want that. They want the truth, the bitter truth. Brother, if it's bitter, give it to me. If it's sweet, great, but give it to me. But I want the truth. That's what most people, I think, want. And that's what I think the people deserve. So damn it, I'll be here. Inshallah, I'll be here. To give you the truth. To give you the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin. I'm News Baba. But really, I'm Mahfouz Talukder. Just an average Abdullah. Just a standard Suleiman. But I'm a member of the common citizenry. We can read. So what's publicly available, I will read. I will understand. I will digest. I will translate. And I will report with my stupid jokes sprinkled in like Salt Bay. And you can go watch it. Be sure to support me in whatever way you can. And I'll see you on the next one. Oh snap. That was a mad one to report. I'm not going to lie. That was a mad one to report. Keyword to integrate into a cheeky comment to let me know that you are here. Thank you for all your support. The keyword is spin. Because the media spin is crazy now, isn't it? See you on the next one.